So at this point in the sequel, the crew from Daly's twisted little side universe are still stuck in the Infinity game, and they're not just chilling, they're on the run, robbing players just to survive. These aren't NPCs or basic AI characters. They're full-blown digital clones with feelings, trauma, and memories of being tortured by Daly. Nanette, the digital clone who basically became the captain, is totally burned out. She didn't ask for any of this. She just wanted to be free, but now she's leading a group of survivors in a game where even more dangerous players are popping up. It's survival of the fittest in there, and they're barely scraping by. Meanwhile, in the real world, the original Nanette starts digging into what Daly was doing before he died. Turns out, Daly didn't just create a game, he created a prison. She figures out the truth, that Daly used an illegal DNA cloner to upload people into the game without their consent. That includes Nanette, Nate, and even Walton's own son. Walton is the CEO who now has everything to lose if this info gets out. Nanette realizes that the rogue players people are complaining about aren't hackers or griefers. They're her, or at least a version of her, the clone version, and she is still alive and kicking inside Infinity. Eventually, real Nanette and Walton enter the game and meet their clone versions. That moment is insane. Imagine meeting a digital version of yourself who's been traumatized, fighting to survive, and now looking at you like you abandoned them. Clone Nanette explains they need access to the heart of Infinity to finally be safe. It's the game engine's core, and it can give them a private universe away from threats. But here is the problem. Walton doesn't see them as people. He sees a scandal, he sees lawsuits, prison time, and his entire company crashing down. So instead of helping, he pulls a gun, he tries to wipe them all out to cover his tracks. Clone Carl ends up sacrificing himself, and Clone Nanette manages to shoot Walton out of the game. Real Nanette escapes and unplugs the system, but then she gets hit by a car. Walton snatches her stuff and bounces, leaving her unconscious in the street. Just when you think it can't get any darker, Clone Walton drops a bomb. The real engine of the game, the Heart of Infinity, has Daly inside it, his consciousness. Turns out Walton secretly cloned Daly's mind and stuffed it into the core so he'd keep working on the game forever. It's twisted. Daly's stuck in a time-warped bubble coding for eternity. And that's why Walton's panicking. His whole company was built on digital slavery. Clone Nanette decides to enter the heart to save her crew. It's Daly's old garage and he's still in there, coding like a zombie. He offers her a way out. Merge her consciousness back with the real Nanette's body and leave the others behind. She could finally be free, but the catch, the rest of the crew gets deleted. She says no, she chooses the crew. Daly flips out, same old Daly. He removes her mouth again, starts attacking her, but this time she fights back. She kills him and triggers the system's self-destruct. In the nick of time, she grabs the transfer code, saves the crew, and the whole Dailyverse goes up in flames. Back in the real world, Walton thinks he's safe, but then the game crashes with a fatal error, server wiped, everything gone. Nanette wakes up from her coma with her clone's mind merged inside her, and surprise, the whole crew is now in her head. That's right, she's got a bunch of sarcastic, slightly traumatized digital friends living rent-free in her brain. They strike a deal, she gets privacy when she's changing or on dates, and in return, they get to binge-watch their favorite TV shows. Walton gets arrested, all his secrets finally come to light, the fraud, the cloning, the abuse, it all comes crashing down. Game over. So what's the message here? At the core, it's about identity, choice, and power. Just because someone is digital doesn't mean they're not real. These clones had lives, emotions, trauma, they were people. And Nanette, both versions of her, had to decide what kind of person she wanted to be. The real world was full of corruption and people willing to sell out others to save themselves, but the digital Nanette, the one who had every reason to give up, chose to fight for her crew. She's the heart of this whole story. The sequel shows us that the real villains aren't just people like Daly who abuse power. They're also the ones who turn a blind eye when they benefit from it, and in the end, the real heroes are the ones who do the right thing even when it costs them everything.